Every single weapon in GTA 4 can be found inside this cramped room. But despite the small quantity, there is still some variety. You have drive-by weapons, heavy assault rifles, explosives, scoped weapons, and you're supposed to use a combination of these to beat whatever the game throws at you. So in today's video, I will be trying to beat GTA 4 with only a sniper rifle. The game begins as Niko Bellic gets bamboozled into coming to America to see his rich, successful cousin. But even after the lie has been revealed, Roman pretends he doesn't know what Niko's talking about. This man is clearly delusional. After the cutscene, we enter free roam, meaning we should probably get our hands on a sniper rifle. By design, you're supposed to unlock it during the Luck of the Irish mission, meaning you can't buy one in the store until that mission is complete. And while there are 2 spawns in Broker and Dukes, they are also locked behind the Luck of the Irish mission. The only spawn that has no requirements is in Algonquin, but the problem with that one is the city is on lockdown. The second we step foot on that bridge, every single police officer in the game drops their current activity and full sends after us. The only positive about this is that even if we die, once we've picked up the rifle, we get to keep it. Also, the cherry on top, I get to witness this. So, after a few dozen of attempts, we reach the maximum amount of rounds, which is 50. I hope this will be enough to get us to the Luck of the Irish mission, because I really don't want to do this again. With the sniper rifle pocketed, we head back to Roman, and his master plan to escape poverty is gambling.
Only problem is I'm playing with some money I meant to give to these Albanian scumbags. Here's hoping they don't show up, eh?
Cousin, 2 guys are going in the store. I think they are the loan sharks you speak of.
Hey! Oh, they stopped following us. Clearly they are too scared of what I could do to them. Do you think they saw me?
Of course they saw you. I mean, you're a distinctive man, Roman.
This guy can outrun his cholesterol levels, let alone loan sharks. We help Roman with his cab business and pick up his girlfriend Mallory and her friend Michelle. We sweep them off their feet and leave a very strong first impression, so much so that Michelle instantly gives Niko her number, completely ignoring all the red flags. While Niko tries to take Michelle on a date, Roman gets ganked by the loan sharks again, and we finally get some action as I introduce 2 bullets to their skulls. Then I thought maybe I could snipe Darden and skip the whole chase. But unfortunately you can't. And I end up just wasting 2 rounds for no reason. To ease the curve of bullets spent, we surprise Darden with a car and probably a broken spine. We then do more driving for Roman and get to meet Lil Jacob, who asks us to watch over a meeting. And I did. Literally. As soon as I realized the kills must be registered by the player, I was forced to spend some precious rounds. Then a fella comes out that takes 3 bullets to the dome. What are they putting in crack on these streets? Vlad calls and makes Niko work for him, paying some of Roman's debt. The first guy was surprised with a car. The second guy was surprised with a car. And then Vlad tells us to kill Ivan. We, of course, don't, because right after he calls to tell he's been giving it to Mallory. Like, who does that? When we link up with Jacob again, Niko surprises a few fellas with a car. I know, shocker, but it does save rounds. In the next section, Niko and Lil Jacob head over to a hideout, and I was surprised to learn that you can shoot from cover with a sniper rifle. Never mind, we're never doing that again. We finish them off cleanly before moving on to Roman, who caught up with the news. He is of course upset, and we go deal with Vlad. The goons protecting him manage to throw me out of the car and stand close enough to prevent Niko from shooting, delaying long enough for Vlad to make an escape.
Great, you lost Vlad. He's probably going back to Mallory's for a post-drive screw.
Not gonna lie, that is very funny. The second attempt goes a lot better, and once confronted with Vlad, I push him into the river. He unfortunately knows how to swim, so that's a round spent. While hiding the body, Roman hears the police sirens and runs off. Not the first time he's done this. Roman getting a head start doesn't matter since Vlad's bosses still find us.
Who are you working for?
My cousin, Roman.
And that's why you shouldn't joke in tense situations. In exchange for our lives, we start working for Dimitri and Faustin, and the first thing they get us to do is steal some flat screens. Once that's done, we go visit an underground movie renting place, where Nico is told to shoot a guy in the leg. So I shot him in the third leg. Get it? Well, the game didn't, so I had to restart and do it properly. We take a detour from the Faustin mission line and go help little Jacob get rid of some dealers. I speed up the process by deliberately spooking him, and then waste a bullet shooting a lock. Then waste more because these fellas are wiggly. On the next mission, we do a lore-accurate assassination and snipe a fellow from a rooftop. Then Nico is hired by Faustin to get rid of some bikers. Since the guy is kind of a bullet sponge, it just didn't seem worth to try to get him while chasing. So I took the easier path and just followed him until they stopped. Then popped them one by one. Then Brucey orders a hit on some guy named Lyle, who we must find and chase until he runs out of gas to get a clean shot. The game takes a turning point when Nico is told to kill Faustin. Unfortunately, you can't just snipe him down. That only triggers a cutscene and makes him run away. Therefore, we must deal with all the goons first. While confronting him on the rooftop, he eats 2 headshots before passing away. Why did it take so long? Then comes Dimitri's betrayal, and after the last mission, I was left with only 3 rounds. I know for a fact that you can complete this mission by just running past everyone in the warehouse, but for some reason, Jacob refused to run out with me. I did this multiple times, and every single one, he refused to leave. So then, that only means one thing. By my calculations, this should be enough to get me through to the Luck of the Irish mission. I sniped out every single goon inside to guarantee Jacob a safe passage, only for him to still refuse to leave and for me to get spanked by a cop. And here's the kicker, I didn't make a save point after picking up all that ammo, so when I reloaded, I was only back to 3 rounds. After another half an hour wasted, Jacob finally blessed me with his presence. Roman's business and the trap house get burned down, and so the Bellics relocate to Bohan, where with the help of Mallory they start over, but not before going on another scavenger run. Yes, I did previously say by my calculations this should be enough, but my calculations aren't my strongest suit. In Bohan, Nico does a few missions for Manny. The first one requires following a drug dealer and clipping him and his drug dealer pals. The second one has me cleaning out another gang, literally across the street. And it doesn't matter if we miss a few shots, because the next mission is Luck of the Irish. And on the rooftop, there it was. We protect Packy from an ambush, and upon its completion, the sniper rifle is unlocked in the gun store. Now, it is sorta kinda still expensive since no one is paying us the big bucks yet, but it is a step in the right direction. Nico, Playboy X, and Johnny get set up by the police during an exchange. If you thought that a sniper shouldn't fight in such close quarters, you're absolutely correct. The saving grace was the medkit and the armor that were conveniently placed around the area. I almost sabotaged my way out by parking my car like that, and it took a while to get out. Speaking of getting out, we still had the police to get rid of. Well, I guess they had better things to do. Probably someone crossed the bridge or something. We do our last mission for Manny, following a train and killing off a few of his old buddies because he got cyberbullied. Nico then plays peacekeeper between Elisabetta and Jacob and tries to recover some missing product. It didn't matter what kind of playthrough I did, I never had any problems getting inside the building. It was always the getaway that sucked. The game can either spawn 2 dudes near an exit or 15. This time, it chose 15. Fortunately, they all missed. And the getaway was the full package. A blown tire with a 10-minute chase. And by the end of it, we learned that Michelle wasn't really interested in us because of our thick Eastern European accent, and instead was a cop. Yeah, Roman should stop playing matchmaker. He set up Nico with a cop and a gay dude. Nico then starts working for Francis, who is currently being blackmailed. And after all this time, only now did I realize that you can just call the provided number and there is no need to manually enter it. With the blackmailer dealt with, Francis sends Nico after another guy. But this guy is a lawyer, and getting to him is tricky, so we try to set up an interview.
Not in the shower.
While waiting for them to call back, we go to a warehouse with Packy to steal a shipment of pills.
There should be a good view of the dock so we can scope that shit out.
Oh, I'm just the guy for this. We get to the roof by doing a bit of parkour and snipe the fellas from above. Jump down, snipe the fellas inside the warehouse and deliver the van without anyone following us. Right after that, we hit another warehouse. It's a good idea to not expose your head to a sniper, but it's also equally important to cover other areas of your body as well. Then right at the end, they wouldn't stop spawning, which made me think the game was bugged, so I just left. Nico and Packy escape by boat, and the next thing they do is rob a bank. I'm confident I can say that there are twice as many enemy units in this mission as I have rounds. This whole mission is about knowing when to shoot. If I spent too many rounds before entering the subway, I would suffer in the subway. Also, before entering the subway, a cutscene plays showing a helicopter hovering over our group, and Nico will shoot from the last held weapon before the cutscene starts playing, which is a very interesting detail from Rockstar. But during these circumstances, it's infuriating watching Nico waste away 5 rounds when just seconds earlier I was min-maxing them. On the last stretch of the mission, before exiting the subway and hopping into the getaway car, I got a little bit too excited and kinda left Packy and Derek behind. But of course, by the time I rejoined them and went back to the staircase, it was filled with police. Attempt number 7 was the successful one. I already knew who to shoot, who Packy and Derek could handle without my assistance, and not to hold any weapons before the subway cutscene. The lawyer finally called back, and we are able to schedule a one-on-one meeting.
Not in the shower.
While cycling through my weapons, he saw me pull out a grenade I was handed during one of the previous missions.
Let the security guard Mudupe play with it for a while. See what happens.
This guy had it coming. Then we go after a guy in the projects. Shooting him from the playground allows us to skip the majority of the mission. Really, officers? You see a white guy fleeing the projects and you think he's guilty of something? Unrealistic. We then quickly snipe another fella for Francis and move on to helping Playboy X with his construction site problems. I snipe down the first guy, get into a car, skip the lower section completely, cleared the second and the third targets along with every goon, and then they started to overwhelm me with their numbers. I sniped the fourth guy and made my grand escape. That was kinda close. We then helped Dwayne by getting rid of some guy who's been disrespecting him, and also get his business back. I can quickly kill off the 2 managers before the third runs off and turns it into a chase. He kinda just drives around the same block over and over again, thus being predictable. Through Karen, we get introduced to UL Paper Agent, and we must do another chase and kill mission. Where are you going? The mission's over. We continue the UL Paper mission line by accessing a police computer and locating a gang. And while I'm pretty sure you don't need a police computer to locate the hideout, you can just show up at the place and the mission will continue. I did have a police car from the previous times we needed one. Unfortunately, my game decided to crash literally at the last guy, so this mission took a bit longer than it should have. We then get a sudden call from Mallory saying Roman has been kidnapped. And the confusing part is she claims Roman doesn't tell her anything, and then follows up with, "But I've heard he's at this exact location." So like, do you know? Do you not know? Am I being set up? Now, Roman is being kept on the top floor. And while I generally keep my distance from enemies for obvious reasons, there were a few moments where they would get in my face and prevent Nico from shooting. This was one of those cases. On the second attempt, things go a bit better and we reach Roman, who is being held at gunpoint. We rescue Roman and then Nico has to make a choice between Playboy and Dwayne. Playboy calls him over and says, "Hey, he's looking at me weird. He wants to kill me. Let's kill him first." Then Dwayne calls saying, "Hey, he's looking at me weird. I think he wants to kill me. Let's kill him first." You know, for someone who quote-unquote knows these streets, Playboy ran into a dead end. And this is where he passed. And this is where he... Okay. And this is where he passed away. I then quickly stole a helicopter for the UL paper guy, and with the help of Lil Jacob, we used that helicopter to blow up another helicopter. By doing so, the UL paper agent starts the search for Darko. We then go to another McCreary, and both missions are basically trail and kill. The first one is to start a gang war and frame the other side by blowing up a car that just came from a meeting. The second one has us disguising ourselves as an Albanian and offing a fellow from the rival gang in broad daylight. We then switch our focus to the final McCreary, Derek, who sends us on another trail and kill mission. Man, this family really likes following people. Unfortunately, Bucky's gang was hiding in a very tight trap house and the police also got involved. When me and the last fella locked onto each other, he was a bit faster. So I had to do a double take. We continued Derek's mission line by trying to escort a fella into the city by boat. And when I say trying, I mean it. The first time, Derek died. The second time, the boat had a bit of an accident. And after everything went well, we arrived at the stopping point and it was time to figure out how to take out the helicopter. Dumping ammo into it seemed inefficient. However, there is this small window when the helicopter turns and the pilot is exposed. I only needed to hit him. About 20 shots later, he goes down, and we simply escort the boat to shore. The next thing Derek asks is to silence his old buddy Aiden while he's being transported. We cause a shootout in the tunnel, snatch Aiden, and try to run off in this heavy, slow truck. I tried to take a shortcut but was stopped by this indestructible fence. But the cops also got stuck, and that was the reason I escaped. We deal with Aiden, and that was the last Derek mission, because we kill him off right after. We then also attend his funeral pretending it wasn't us who put him in that coffin. Some Albanians show up, but we prevent them from claiming any more McCreary's. Nico then heads over to Ray, who sends him looking for a guy named Teddy. And this was again one of those really cramped locations. It felt like we're having hand-to-hand combat in a telephone booth. It also didn't help that at the beginning I get blasted by the goons. So the rest of the Teddy chase is way more stressful. We then educate the hood by demonstrating Newton's law of motion using Teddy. We go back to Ray to start the diamond mission line blunder. We accompany Luca and his crew while collecting stolen diamonds that had been carefully hidden in garbage. But of course the plan isn't foolproof and we get spotted. The guys hanging in the back are useless, so I step outside to get some fresh air. But of course that was only the beginning of our problems, and Nico is hit with the news that Luca ran off with the diamonds. To prove Nico's not in on it, we must recover them. After chasing them, they crash and scatter into a public restroom. We cause a bit of a disturbance. Sorry, big dog. Take the diamonds from Luca, make sure we look fresh, and deliver them back to Ray. While Ray tries to sell them, we head over to Gerald, who got taken into custody. Regardless, he's trying to set up Gracie's kidnapping. Surprisingly, she calms down once we explain to her why she needs to calm down. We leave her with Packy's people until Jerry can set up her exchange. When Nico goes back to Ray, he has found a buyer for the diamonds. The sales pitch, however, doesn't end well, and our night at the museum is ruined. The diamonds and the money are gone, and we have to get through the long corridors of the museum. Once we're out, I don't buy into this whole getaway thing anymore, and instead start shooting them. The diamond failure gets everyone pointing fingers at each other, and the first group to be pointed at are some bikers. We chase the fellas until one of them becomes one with transit, and then chase the other one. We repeat that again, reaching the finish and making him run out of gas. Nothing to see, officer. I'm wearing a helmet and following the flow of traffic. The second group of people to be pointed at is Isaac's crew. And while having a shootout inside the hotel, somehow one fella managed to completely slip behind me unnoticed and force me to do the whole thing again. I've rewatched the footage and my conclusion is that he just spawned in. Ray then provides the location of Florian, but he had a bit of a rebranding and now goes by Bernie. His missions consist of having a chase on a scooter, having a chase in a car, and having a chase on a boat. Afterwards, Ray introduces Nico to Phil, who sends us to steal a truck. I tried to snipe the driver before he took off, but that plan flopped harder than my New Year's resolutions. So I ran, and ran, and ran, and somehow made it. We then take the truck and store it somewhere safe for the time being. While nearby, I take objectively the best car in the game and head over to Jimmy Pagarino, who is so impressed by our recent work that he asks us to be his personal bodyguard at the Pavano family meeting. During this mission, we've been given an automatic sniper rifle. It overwrites our existing one, but since it's still a sniper rifle, I felt no need to change it. We protect Pagarino by sniping the surrounding enemies. Avoid the conflict by running around that closed off section, take back the offering, and safely drop him off. Before returning to Jimmy, I swing by the gun store and replace the sniper with the non-automatic version. I guess I grew accustomed to this one. Phil then takes Nico to a boatyard to steal a shipment of drugs. The plan was to arrive in a van they were expecting and have them loaded with no questions asked. Since I took a bit of a shortcut, I damaged the van's body, and drug deals 101 say to never arrive in a damaged van. So we have to snipe our way through. We then take the boats with the shipment, and as we're about to leave, we get interrupted. I shoot the gunman on the first boat, then pacify the second boat, all while the first boat zooms by. I agree, not all fights need to be fought. But somehow a guy called Fat Charlie figures out it was us who stole them boats. We chase the fat man through an abandoned factory, and at the very end, he jumps onto a helicopter. Killing him off isn't enough for some reason. The helicopter must go down as well. The roof, where everything takes place, has a horrible angle for sniping the pilot. So on the next attempt, I do the exact same thing I did during the pistol only challenge and climb onto one of the towers that give a clear shot of the pilot. Nico gets the news that Gracie's exchange has been arranged, and as him and Packy are about to pick up the diamonds, Bulgarin sends his men to take them. We fight through the lower section of the water treatment plant and climb up to the upper section. This mission really made me wonder how exactly will I complete Dimitri's revenge. The only reason I didn't completely run out of ammo doing this was because of Packy. The goon that grabbed the diamonds chose for no one to have them and throws them away. And maybe for the better. They were nothing but trouble from the moment we interacted with them. You never know what worse luck your bad luck has saved you from. The Yule Paper agent sets Nico up with John Gravelli, a mafia boss powerful enough to find Darko. Before he does that though, there are a few things we must do for him. First, we play bodyguard for a politician. During his transportation, our convoy gets ambushed. One of the other guards tries to play Mr. President for the enemy. Then the politician tried to take a mugshot, almost got run over. Then I almost got run over by a taxi driver of all people. Man, what a fever dream sequence. Then Nico goes after the same guy he smuggled into the country before being ordered to destroy some drug vans. I eliminate all the surrounding guards, though a few were really sneaky and almost got me. I tried shooting one of the vans to cause a chain explosion, but after dumping every round into it, the van had no intention of blowing up. Perhaps because I was shooting the side and not the engine. So then the plan B, we take a car and ram until we get an explosion. After doing this for over 3 minutes, the engine dies. Plan C. We grab another car and start ramming the damaged one. It finally goes up in flames and starts our chain explosion. I have no idea why the game's camera decided to zoom in on that car, but it kinda threw me off. Once all the drug vans went up in flames and we gave the whole neighborhood a free high, we wait for Gravelli to fly in Darko. Meanwhile, Nico goes back to Jimmy Pecorino, who isn't doing so hot. His own bodyguard talked to the feds, but a key detail is that he suffered a heart attack, so he's being kept at a hospital. After unplugging his life support, they don't allow us to nonchalantly exit, so they make me bust a few moves to get away. Pecorino continues cleaning house, and the next one to get evicted is Ray. I do a lore-accurate assassination and snipe him down first, then finish off the rest of his boys. Nico gets a call from the Ewell paper agent saying they got Darko. He picks up Roman at the... Are Diddy jokes still a thing? No? Alright. You know, this is a very emotional moment in the game, but seeing Nico wearing scrubs, I just can't take this seriously. Get Darko. Jimmy P has completely lost it and is scrambling for ideas. The one play he has left is doing a deal with Dimitri, but by revealing that, he also reveals Dimitri's location. Well, Roman actually did that. When Nico calls him, he goes, "Oh yeah, I've heard about Dimitri, he's on East Hook Island. Ever since starting this challenge, I knew this mission specifically was going to be difficult. The biggest hurdle to get through is the sheer number of enemies. Previously in these ammo-intense missions, we had Jacob or Patty as backup, but on this one, it's just Nico. After clearing the deck and getting to the captain's cabin to open the hull, I was already almost out of ammo, so shooting our way in can't be done. After brainstorming a few ideas, the winning formula was clearing the entrance and a few fellas on the deck, then climbing the nearby crane where we find a sniper rifle. Remember at the beginning of the video I said there are two spawns in Broker and Dukes? Well, this is one of them. We also find another rifle lying around literally by the entrance. So the next time I opened the hull, I had 21 rounds. We then jumped down the hull, cleared a few of Dimitri's men, cleared a few more of Dimitri's men, and then shot Dimitri in the head 2 times. Nico then has a goodbye speech, and then we shoot him again. And after all that, I was down to 5 rounds. Without those extra pickups in the beginning, this would be hellish. Then we get a call from Roman saying he's getting married. On the day of the wedding, Pecorino enacts his payback because Nico didn't go through with the deal, and he hits a random NPC that we are really mad about. After some time, Lil Jacob and Roman track down Pecorino's goons, who we follow to their hideout. Also, for some reason, the press E to change clothes prompt appeared and only disappeared once another prompt showed up. So yeah, it's gonna be there for a while. When we get to Pecorino's hideout, I cleared just enough goons to get inside the building. I couldn't hard clear everything since I'm not sure if there's another sniper pickup to bail me out. Upon entering, I get absolutely blasted, but thankfully there's a medkit nearby. There are a few more encounters to get through, and then Jimmy gets into a boat and we follow him until Jacob and Roman fly in with a helicopter and catch Nico. We fly the helicopter for a while until Pecorino hits us with an RPG. And we wait for the cutscene. Cutscene? Cutscene! Okay, for a second I thought we were gonna crash. I tried sniping Jimmy down, but the bullets went straight through him. After dealing with one of Pecorino's goons and the police officer, I grab a hot dog just in case. From the bushes, straight to the dome. And with Pecorino going down, it is complete. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.